Hello everyone, this is Janice. Happy Friday. Today I'm going to be making a card inspired from this tag. Very simple tag that I made for a friend whose daughter's school is having one of those auctions. They make baskets and then people come and they place a bid and they raise money for their school. I think it's for one of their teams. Anyway, her basket, her class's basket is a coffee basket, and so I offered, that got me all excited because I love coffee. I said, do you need a tag? Do you need a tag for your basket? I would love to make your tag. She said, okay, go right ahead. So I took a image, this coffee cup here. I got it from the stamping cartridge. It's an old solution cartridge. And love that little coffee mug there. I'll tell you what size I cut it at. It is cut at 1.79. Then the top note is from, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. It's from Just Because Cards, and it is on the shift. It's button number 29. And I cut that at, I'll tell you in a minute. This one right here, the one that's houndstooth paper, is 4 3/4. And then I took this, I doubled it, I copied it, and then I made this one bigger. I made it 5.35 because there's no shadow for this image on Just Because cards. And there's top notes on lots of cartridges in case you don't have that one. If you go over to mycutsearch.com, mycutsearch.com, you can search the entire Cricut library, and you put a shape you're looking for. It'll tell you what cartridge is, and it'll show you what page and everything if you weren't aware of that website. And then I stamped it with a stamp that I've had forever. This is, what is this called? I don't even know if this is what it was called. This is a old Stampin' Up set. Not sure if they still have it in their catalog, but I need to put the cling foam. These don't have the cling foam yet. This one has nothing on it, so I need to order some from Stampers Best. They have a really good deal on their cling foam, so I need to order that ASAP. This one happened to stick somewhat with the old adhesive. Anyway, so I used that for that, and then I just made a hole, put an eyelet, put some hemp, and that way they can tie this around the plastic of their basket. So I'm going to give that to her hopefully today. I did pop up the cup, and I put my name on the back and my phone number in case, if somebody likes it and wants to hire me to make cards or tags or whatever, they'll have my information. Whoever actually ends up, winning it. So let's get started. I'm very excited about something. I went on Blitzy today, and I want to thank all of you who are watching right now who have been subscribing, or not subscribing, but joining Blitzy, which right now if you do that, it gives me $1 towards spending. And then if you place an order the first time, and really you can only do this one time, when you place an order, I get $10 credit. And so I got enough credit today from those of you that have been doing that. Thank you so much. I was able to get some things that I really wanted, and there was no way I was going to pay for. The first thing, which I just ordered it today, so obviously I don't have them, but I'm going to make this card and tell you about the stuff that I ordered. Okay, I have the Martha Stewart scoreboard, which I absolutely love, okay? But when ScorePal came out with their mini one, that kind of excited me, okay? Because sometimes, as you know, my table can be such a mess, and I don't want to, get this big thing out, especially if it's just for a card. This is great if my cut is a big long 12-inch and you know it's a fancy card that has lots of fold and whatever. But the other one is perfect for when you know you just want to do a quick card. It's small, and they have it on Blitzy right now for $12.95, which is a really good deal for that thing. And I'm wondering if they're going to come out with cutting mat that goes right on top of it. I'm going to be looking for that. So I went ahead and put that in my cart. But I'll show you the benefit of this. For the base of my card, I'm using an 11 by 4 1/4 piece of craft cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, which they make great paper. Their paper is a very nice, heavyweight, very professional is what I would call it. My husband, in fact, complimented me on his card that I made him. He said, this card feels like a nice weighted card. There's no way that he said that I could ever afford a card this professional if it was sold in a store. He said it's such a nice weight, and I told him, you know, it's the Paper Tray Ink paper. So because of that, you definitely need to score this paper when you go to fold it, because otherwise it's gonna just do funky things. It's even hard to score. You have to do it a few times. It's so nice and thick. Okay, so now we get a nice professional clean crease there when you score it. Okay, and I think I'm going to corner chomp this, and I'm going to use the stub side of this lime green one. This is going to end up being a thank you card for my aunt. She passed us into Disney. My uncle worked for Disney for, I think it was 25 years, and as a benefit they give their employees a lifetime of passes to get into Disney for free. So they were nice enough to pass us last week when my sister-in-law was here. So I was sending her a thank you card. So here's my little top note that I told you about, and I'm going to do something to this base. It is going to be a pretty simple card, so actually, you know what, I just had a thought. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get this big old thing out of the way. There goes the envelope triangle thingy. I'm going to cut another piece in half. So 5.5. My paper trimmer's down at my neighbor's house, my big tonic one. She had a project she had to do, so I let her borrow it. So it's only been gone for like an hour and I'm already missing it. I'm so silly. And so I'm gonna trim this. And so now I have a card base that we're gonna layer on top of this one. And the reason I did that is because I want to emboss it. And I don't know why, I just don't like to emboss. I like to have another layer to emboss. So let me see where my Cuttlebug is. It's right here. And we're just gonna emboss that layer. Move it back a little bit. I think what I'm gonna do is use this one, the polka dots one. This is one of those larger ones. I'm gonna do this left-handed because I put it on that side. All right. Move this guy out of the way. Okay. So now, you know, we have some added dimension, which is kind of what I wanted. And then, but I wanted to put a sentiment down here. So I think we're going to use this piece right here for the sentiment. Just going to cut it down to 1 inch. That's good. And let's see here, what could I use? Yes, Adrian. I can't right now, I'm doing a video. I'm thinking I wanted to do something fancy. I think I'm just going to keep this simple right down here. And the sentiment is, "You're the cream in my coffee." So I'm going to just eyeball here. And then we're going to use some rich cocoa for this, Memento Rich Cocoa. Just going to make sure it's straight. And then we're going to ink it up with whatever's on my what is it? Here it is. I was using brushed corduroy earlier, so I'm just going to go around and let's do this. Okay, and that way it'll kind of stand out on there. So that goes there. Then I'm going to use my Adirondack Espresso Paint Dabber. And right now Blitzy also has the paint dabbers. Now this one comes in a multi-pack. It comes with white, black, and brown. You can get it at Michael's. And I'm just going to ink the edges so that they're not so white. I was just going to add a little bit of dimension to this cut. But I'm not going to do a whole lot. Just a little bit. So I'm going to leave my little code at the bottom of this video, and if you go to the link, you can join Blitzy. It's free to become a member, and then that'll give me $1 to shop, and then when you place your first order, then I'll get the $10, like I said before. So if you're interested in, you know, you've not done this already, because if you've already done it, it won't work. So, just in case you're interested. And then, of course, once you join, you'll get your own code, and then you can put it on Facebook and send it by email to your friends, and then you can get a credit from your friends. I think I want to do this to this too. These are really, really fun. I like the concept because I don't have to dirty a paintbrush or any other tool to use these. I think I'll do the edges of the If you need more paint, you push it down and you can just kind of, I don't want too much, I just want a little touch of a detail there. Like that. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to show you that you okay, Adrian? I'm going to show you that you can also stamp with it. I'm going to use this to do, oops, to do the coffee steam. That's going to be at the top of my cup. So all you do is you kind of squeeze it because you got to kind of get the paint going, and sometimes these do get clogged, and so if you just spritz some water there, it unclogs it. And this is the pearl, and I absolutely love it. This is probably one of my favorites. I saw Jennifer McGuire using it, and if you don't know who she is, Google her. She has some awesome videos on how to use Ranger products. So I'm just stamping it here, and I'm going to put it in the middle. And it's not very dark, but it is pearlescent. Okay, so that's that. And of course we want to clean this off as soon as possible. If if it bothers you that that your stamp is dirty, you'll want to clean it right away. But if you're like others, like I know Tim Holtz always says, it's just a tool, no big deal, just kind of get most of the stuff off of it. But I'm a little bit picky that way. I like things to look clean. Okay, and then we're going to put together our coffee cup here. That's going to go right there in the middle. Like I said, this came from the stamping cartridge, but there's certainly so many cartridges that have a coffee cup on it. Okay, and then I'm going to use my Tim Holtz scissors here and put a skinny strip. I'm just going to cut. This is the nice thing about using foam tape, is you can cut them to cut the pieces very thin if you need. So I just wanted this to be dimensional because it's a coffee cup, so I wanted it to look like, regular coffee cup. Okay, now before I stick this down here, I'm going to add some pearly paint so that what shows through is that same pearly color. I'm going to wait for it to dry a little bit. In the meantime, we will distress a little bit. This is frayed burlap, or no, brushed corduroy. Okay, and then put that there. They also have score tape on Blitzy right now, and it's a great price. Score tape is not cheap, and I may try to pick up, I'm kind of regretting I only got one roll of the 1/4 inch and one roll of the 1/8 inch. This paint dries pretty fast too. It's nice. And I probably should have picked up and stocked up a little bit, because that stuff is not cheap, and but I love it. This is what score tape looks like. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you what it is. This is score tape, and they have the 1/4 inch and the 1/8 inch. And the reason I like it so much is because it is very, very aggressive tape. And I only use it for specific projects like mini books and things like that. Because like I said, I think it's an expensive tape. And I don't just want to use it on everything. I use my ATG for that. And then I'm going to wrap some twine, even though this is kind of like the same color, that's not going to really stand out very well. So I think what I will do is use some, what is this called? Seam binding. I'm just getting it from my little ribbon holder here. And I'm just going to wrap it down here so I can put a bow at one side because I like bows, and it's for my aunt and she would like a bow on this. So set that aside. Let me show you how I do my bows. You may have seen this if you've been following me for a while, but if you're new, now I'm wondering about that We Are Memory Keepers. Is it? No, it's Imaginess's ribbon cutter tool thing. If you have it, can you tell me how does it work on seam binding? Is it really good? Does it really seal the ends? Because that's the one thing I don't like about seam binding is if I try to burn this with my lighter, it burns pretty badly and it leaves scorch marks. So I was wondering about that, because if I see it at the expo, it might be something I might put on my list of things to look for. Just not sure yet, not completely sold. Because honestly, it's really not that hard to just snip and then use a lighter. For me personally, that is. But it would be worth it for seam binding. Okay. So we're going to add this here. Take this off. Now we just use tape. This started out being a simple card, remember? See what happens? It takes a life of its own. But that's okay. It's worth it for my sweet Titi Toña. She's the best. Okay. I'm going to trim this a little bit more. Okay, and then we're going to add the sentiment right. Maybe I'll put it to the side like that. Okay, now I'm just going to show you. I don't normally use this on my cards, but you know, if you add a lot of bulk, if you know Beata Johns from Split Coast Stampers, if you've never gone to Split Coast Stampers, you need to go now. Split Coast Stampers. I consider it the card making encyclopedia reference point. If there's something you want to learn about card making, that is the place to go. She does great tutorials and she uses this stuff exclusively. But her cards have lots of sewing and layers and bling and, I mean, bulk. And so this is really good for that because you don't want your cards to fall apart. Okay, because anything worth doing is worth doing right. So you don't want to send somebody something that is going to fall apart, or if you make cards for Operation Right Home and you don't want to send something that's going to fall apart, because, you know, our loved ones and our soldiers are worth the very best supplies that we have. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't generally, you know, I don't do sewing on my cards, and if I'm mailing something, I don't put tons of bulk on them. So the ATG works fine, you know, if that's you. But I just wanted to show you how this stuff works. See, and so you just peel this back, and yeah, that score tape's going to be blitzed out, and that card thing, the Score Pal for card makers, that's going to be gone, if it's not already gone right now. You might want to just put my thing on pause. If you're really wanting that, I would go there right now and get it, because it's going to be gone. It's a great value. Okay, so now I'm going to add this layer. And you want to kind of push it down really well, especially if you have done some embossing. So again, so it doesn't fall off. So there's my card. It needs something. And when in doubt, add a button or add a bling. I'm just looking for something here to add to it. I just keep my bling in these little drawers. So here. Just gonna see if I have brown bling. Oh, I know. Let's add some little iridescent hearts, one on either side. Do I like that? I think I'll just do one. I don't think it needs two. I got those from Michael's. There we go. So there's my card. Thanks for watching. Bye.